guys, George back with another video. Today I'm going to have a wee attempt at the Jazz Bum's 5 labels. 4 chosen labels and 1 of my own choice. So I'll fire right into that. I'm going to show probably 5 of my top albums each label. So first off would be going Blue Note, and the first album will be Olio by Grant Green. I'll stick on my glasses here so I can read. Yeah, so this is a Blue Note original, recorded in 1962, I think, was it? 62? 62, first released in Japan in 1980. So it's hardly been released since. So it's got the Japanese Obi and it's got an inner. Japan always had the original Blue Note label, and it comes with the insert as the Japanese copies came with. Yeah, so Olio didn't get a release till 1980 in Japan, and I think they only released it a couple of times. You can pick up a Spanish copy from maybe 2015, which will obviously be digital recorded. Music Matters Jazz and Tone Poets were going to release this, but the original master tapes were damaged beyond redoing, so it'll never get a release again. So unfortunately Kevin Gray tried to have an attempt at doing this for Tone Poets, but it never materialised. And so if you can pick up a Japanese copy from 1962, Grant Green obviously on guitar, Sonny Clark on piano, Sam Jones on bass and Lewis Hayes on drums. There's 5 tracks. Olio was a Sonny Rollins track. There's 2 songs by Grant Green himself. Tune Up, I think, was done by Miles Davis. And the intro we played there was My Favourite Things. A lot of guys, including Coltrane, had done Olio. It's a fantastic album. I would pick up the Spanish copy if you can't get one of the original Japanese. So that's Blue Note. Next off we have Riverside. One of the most famous albums on Riverside, of course, is Bill Evans' Sunday at the Village Vanguard. And it says featuring Scott LaFaro. It was a 3-piece. So this is from 1961 originally. This is obviously a MoFi copy. I'll just show you. Most folk have seen the MoFis, and it'll be a MoFi label. It will not be the original Riverside. It's just a black MoFi. These obviously coming up to disc 45. Now this was released in 2017. It was the second one-step release. So Scott LaFaro on bass and Paul Motion on drums. We had worked with, you just got a card and set. A few picks. Bill Evans. And there's the 3 boys there. I think Scott LaFaro died in a car accident not long after this. So this was 2017. Now this is the only one-step album. Is all analog. All the rest of the one-steps are got that DSD in them. So I'm kind of glad, you know, the first one, Santana, was released 2,500 copies. I missed out on it and I nearly bought it and I thought it was too much, like when I got this second copy a few months later. Yeah, that goes for 2,500, but I guess not anymore, and these prices will crash. There's 3,000 copies made of the Bill Evans, and I've got 1,992 of 3,000. Now this being the only analogue one step is going to rise heftily. So I guess if you want to invest in any one step, this eventually is going to be the one to get. Now the first 5 albums on the one step process were, I think the first 4 or 5 were just done on normal vinyl. It wasn't until the Stevie Ray Vaughan they've released the RTI Super Vinyl. So yeah, Riverside, Bill Evans on Mo-Fi, sounds fantastic. Third record, we have Contemporary. This is Sonny Rollins, Way Out West. And this is Electric Recording Company issue. This was for 2001. And you get this little obi, really tight, the jacket, immaculate, and the jackets are done as they were done back in the 60s. This was recorded in 57, released in 57. This is a stereo copy. The stereo copy was released in 1958, a year later. It's on the Contemporary label. Yeah, Electric Recording Company. They're very expensive, but they're done to the original spec. I'll not put this back in. Done on all valve equipment, tube in America. So it's done properly how it was recorded back in the day. And I don't think there's anybody else really doing tube mastering. I think there's only 300 they release these in a series, and I have number, well, I don't think they number them actually. They were about £350, I think. 300, maybe 300, 350 at the time. So that's Sonny Rollins on Contemporary, Way Out West. Fantastic album, 3-piece. Sonny on tenor sax, Ray Brown on bass, and Shelly Manne on drums. Yeah, good bit of West Coast stuff going on there. Stick that down there. So my 4th album, this is a bit of faff. I'm just showing you because it's, this is Impulse Records. This was a reissue by Super Sense in Vienna last year. This is the master, caused a lot of controversy. This was the 3rd release in the series. It's Love Supreme, we all love it. So you get this inner box, and it comes in this inner sleeve. And it sounds fantastic. Honestly, it sounds fantastic. I don't play it all the time because I've got an Analog Productions copy and another copy. I'll not get it all out, but the lacquer is really heavy and it just sits in this. It's not got the Impulse label. Just sits in this nut and bolt here. So I'll play it maybe every 4 months. Super Sense, yeah. Super Sense first brought back Polaroid photography, so they do a lot of photography. I'll not show you all this, it's because it's a faff to get out, but they've got some Polaroids of John Coltrane. There's John Coltrane there in the process. Really lovely. It's a great if you're a John Coltrane fan. And I got number, where is it? It's on the side of the box. So it was released in Europe first for 99 copies, and I got number 9. I think they released maybe 500 in the States. So I love Supreme on Impulse, lacquer, sounds fantastic. Right, I'm on my 5th, I think I'm on my last one, 5th one, okay, my choice. So we're going to have Yusef Lateef, Eastern Sounds. This is on the Moodsville label, which is a subsidiary of Prestige. There we are, Moodsville, Yusef Lateef. And I'll show you the Moodsville label. So this was from 1961, I think, too. Released last year as a one-step by Kraft Records to 1,000 copies. They done John Coltrane first. This was the second issue. And the third issue was Miles Davis, Relaxing. Now they're going to be releasing a fourth one very soon in the series. As I said, these were 1,000 copies initially. The Miles Davis was 5,000 copies, and you can still get them on Kraft website, I believe. So, don't know what's going to be next. They're coming up next. I would imagine they'd start issuing down to maybe 3,000 copies, but you don't know what they've had in the plans. So, this is Yusef, Lateef, Eastern Sounds. I think the next one maybe be Sonny Rollins, by the way, but on the Moodsville label. So that's my 5 records. Catch you later, guys. Bye now.